time for Common Sense America with Eden Cornell. Yeah.
And good morning, Common Sense America. It is so great to be back with you. I made the 95 Southern Corridor here safe and sound back here to beautiful Eastern North Carolina. And I have to say, it is a lot warmer here than it was up in the Northern Territories of Chester County, Pennsylvania. To my friends, my family, thank you so much for an amazing long weekend celebrating Beulah Baptist Church and the 200th anniversary. Since 1823, it has been serving the Lord God Almighty. So thank you so much for an amazing weekend. Thank you so much to my cousins, my family, for such a wonderful welcome home. So today it is Wednesday. It is June the 7th. I tell you what, we have the ultimate test in front of us. We have the ultimate test of what is ahead for this great nation, Common Sense America. We're all about God, truth, family, common sense. Common sense would say the ultimate test in front of us is what this whole presidential election is really going to be about as we head into 2024. And, you know, this whole weekend being up in Chester County, Pennsylvania is a blue state. It really is. But there are pockets of red. And I loved hearing from amazing Americans, people I've known since I was a kid, talking to me about what's ahead for this nation. You know, I was sitting here just kind of looking at my own roadmap of who is jumping into the presidential race and who is a great leader for this nation and what is ahead. And these candidates who are jumping in, whether it's my former boss, President Donald Trump, whether it is former Vice President Mike Pence, whether it is former Governor Chris Christie, former Governor Nikki Haley, or current Governor of Florida, Ron DeSantis, whether it is RFK Jr., we have a lot of different personalities coming to the very forefront of this presidential election, and a lot that needs to be talked about. Tim Scott, Senator from South Carolina, he was on The View the other day, and I've just been watching the sound bites. I applaud him. I really do. I am very impressed in his presentation and how he talked about growing up in the South, talking about what he has overcome. I absolutely am in awe. But you know what? I was writing my news headlines down this morning, RFK Jr. to Ron DeSantis to Chris Christie, and watching everything that's happening and all the sound bites. And I sat there and thought about it. Again, I'm not endorsing officially anybody. Yes, I'm very loyal to my previous boss, Donald Trump. But I sit there and say, RFK Jr. was just at the border. He's making a lot of sense. You know who else is making a lot of sense? A candidate who's not in, but is at the forefront with one of the candidates, Casey DeSantis. She's not talking about color. She's not talking about the fact that she's a woman. But she's talking about the things that are affecting our kitchen tables, the things that are affecting whether we have gas in our tank, the things that are affecting the food on our table and the clothes on our back. That's what she's talking about. And so is RFK Jr. I would love to see the candidates not bash one another, because it's really starting to happen. And that is not a great example to the next generation who will get to vote in very close years to come. Instead of bashing one another, let's change public policy. Let's change the hearts and minds. Let's not water down the American history. Let's talk about what happened to this great nation. So, talking about what has happened to this great nation, I have an amazing honor to bring over William Daniels. He is a World War II enthusiast. I cannot wait to tell him all the little trinks and treasures I brought home from Pennsylvania from my grandfather's service in World War II. He's also a book author, and he likes to tell jokes. I love what his mom sent to me. She said, common sense would say we need, and I'm paraphrasing what she said, common sense. We need that more here in the United States more than ever. But we really need to really just take this amazing kid's book and joke. and just enjoy laughter. Laughter. I'm not making light of what is happening in our nation, but you know what? At the end of the day, you're joking me. Jokes from a kid by a kid. William Daniel, he's got it right. His parents have got it right. Let me tell you a little bit about William, and then I'm going to bring him over. He is a middle schooler, a World War II enthusiast, a competitive gymnast. Oh, I can't wait to hear about this. He builds model airplanes and wants to be a pilot someday. Hey, William, I wanted to be a pilot too. I hope you achieve your goal. He has an older sister and he is a twin. Oh, this is going to be fun. As you can well imagine, he enjoys making people laugh, which he does for his family, his friends, and at school. William lives in Colorado and with his family and his dog named Riley. I am so excited to bring over to the show William Daniel. Good
Hello.
morning.
Good morning.
How are you, William? It's so
I'm
nice.
doing good. Yeah.
So, okay, first and foremost, you're coming from Colorado. You have your book right behind you. How old are you?
I'm 13 years old.
And when did you write this book?
I wrote this book I started about 2 years ago.
Okay. And when did you publish it? Was it last year?
It was last year, November 8th.
Okay. So, who inspired you to write this book, write these jokes? Because clearly, your age, my parents, we all need some laughter. We all need some laughter, right? So, what inspired you and who inspired you?
Well, my biggest inspirations are my father and my grandfather because they're very humorous people.
Okay.
And since they made me laugh, I thought, well, may as well put my thoughts down and send them out to the world so that I can make other people laugh.
Well, I have to admit, I was looking at some of the reviews, and your mother sent me 3 copies of the book, and I cannot wait to promote your book on my best summer reading list for kids. And it goes up against another great book on Thomas Edison. But let's talk about this. I want to read a couple things that have been posted on Amazon. So for all of those who are looking for a great kids book for the summer, go over to Amazon and pick up You're Joking Me, Jokes for Kids by a Kid by William Daniel. William's jokes are so simple yet so hilarious. I recommend this book to anyone who is interested in smiling, who enjoys laughing, or is currently breathing. It is a must in your book collection. So Justin, a YouTube host, An Epic Adventure of Jay Stu. That is brilliant. For anyone who is breathing, we need some laughter, right?
Oh, yeah.
Right. So how long did it take you to put this book together?
Well, from coming up with all the jokes, about 1.5 years. And that's not including all the editing time.
Uh-huh. And were some of these jokes you had heard from your dad and your grandfather that you incorporated into the book, or did you come up with most of them?
I came up with most of them.
You did. Okay.
I did.
Okay. So can you do me a favor? Can you grab your book right there? Or I'm sure you have plenty memorized. What are some, yeah, there it is. Good kid. What are some of your favorite jokes? And go ahead and read them to the audience for me.
Here we go. It's fun because I memorized the page numbers of where my favorite jokes are because a lot of people ask this question. So we'll give one that I share a lot. But why should you have 5 quarters instead of 5 pennies?
Why?
It makes more sense.
Oh, that's good. That's cute. I like that one. Okay, continue.
Let's see. Why is it hard to wash windows?
Why is it?
Because they are a pain.
Oh, yeah, they are a pain. But I was going to say something to being vertically challenged because I'm only 5'2", so it's very hard to wash anything. So I get out of cleaning the house most of the time.
There you go.
Okay, what's another one?
Of course. Where do you weigh a dog?
Oh, where do you weigh a dog?
At the pound.
That's cute. I like that one. One of my favorites let me see if I can find it. Okay. I love snowmen and I collect snowmen. One of my favorites is what happens when snowmen get nervous? And I didn't know snowmen could get nervous. They get cold feet. That's really cute. I like that one. Tell me about the book, what age do you think would be ideal for this, since you are in middle school? Is it for your age group, or do you think we could say younger kids and then also the older kids like myself who need a little laughter here and there?
Yes, I would say the age range is the 6 to 8.
Uh-huh.
But I would say that if you do like jokes, you can just pick yourself up a coffee, a
Yeah, a cup of coffee and
cup of coffee and a copy. There you go.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, no, most definitely. Your mom was telling me that this book is in a lot of the different airports. Is that correct?
that is correct. Yes.
Okay, so tell me about that. How did the book get to the airports? And what are some of the reviews you're hearing from people?
Yeah, well, how we got in there is a an author friend of my mom, his kids go to our school, and
Okay.
so naturally, we gave a few books to him, which he gave to a friend of his that's with Choice Books, and Choice Books are the people that supply the racks in airports, hotels, truck stops, and so he gave the book to his friend or the one of the high associates at Choice Books,
Uh-huh.
and naturally we waited a few months, and when we were traveling home from Christmas, we looked in the Atlanta airport and there it is, like sitting right on the rack.
How did you feel when you saw that?
It was incredible.
Yeah, did you get a picture next to your rack of books?
Of course, yeah, we got a few books, you know, bought a few for sales, and then we told the cashiers, "Oh yeah, I'm the author of this book," and of course, seeing their reaction, it's always good.
Oh, that's really neat. That's really special. So
It
do you
is.
think you're going to write some more books?
I already have written a second book. It's not well, it is sort of a joke book. It's a
Okay.
sequel to one of my mom's books.
Uh-huh.
The book that she wrote is called "I Love You, Mom." It's a gift book for people to give to their mothers, and then this is one called "I Love You, Dad." It's one for people to give to their father. And so naturally I wrote jokes for it because,
Uh-huh.
dads like jokes. And it's specifically about things that dads like. So you can call them dad jokes, but they're dad jokes about things that dads like grilling and camping and stuff.
So with Father's Day coming up, is the book available to buy for Father's Day, or is it not ready yet?
It's not ready yet. It should be
Okay.
out. We're hoping out by next Father's Day,
Okay.
by next year, but we're not
Okay.
exactly sure.
No pressure. No pressure.
Yeah.
No, that's really great though, William. I'm really impressed. I want to talk to you about being a World War II enthusiast. How did this come to be? Tell me what you do. Are you collecting things? Do you go and visit museums? What is it like to be a World War II enthusiast at your age? I love hearing this.
Yeah, I read a lot of history books. And this past year, I'm in summer right now, so I don't have school. Um,
Hmm.
we did a World War II unit, and of course, I knew a lot before, but before then, I think what sparked it was just um, I loved learning about wars and battles. It was just interesting to me.
Hmm.
Not the gory stuff, but just learning about these conflicts that shaped countries and civilizations. Uh,
Hmm.
and I think World War II is one of those ones where it's not too far in the past, but it's not too modern.
Right.
So it really piqued I think my interests peaked there.
Well, yesterday was D-Day.
That's right.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And, that was all over the news yesterday. They were talking about it. And I know one of the major news stations featured four different veterans who are still alive from World War II, which is pretty powerful for them to talk about D-Day. My parents live in a very old home. It was, I believe, built in 1895. It's been in our family for many years. And my father has been going through our attic of all of my grandfather's items from World War II.
Mm.
And he uncovered his cover. Now, my grandfather was enlisted in the United States Army, but back then they gave them the officer hats, which were absolutely amazing. They're bringing them back now.
Mm.
But then we found something else. My grandfather brought back with him a German helmet from, yes, yes. Yeah, isn't that cool?
Yeah.
And I know they aren't too hard to find, but I mean, if you go into any antique dealer, they're going to have them for an absorbent amount because it has, all of the German insignia and things of that nature on it.
Yeah.
But we found that, and my husband served. He served in the army as well. He was in Iraq, and similar to my grandfather bringing something back from his time overseas, my husband did too. He brought back pieces from Saddam Hussein's palace. So, you sit there and you look at these artifacts of history, of military history, and they're so important because you get to learn about these powerful things in our American history and the civilization and how things came together and how the countries came together.
Yeah.
What was one of your favorite pieces of learning about World War II as you were studying?
Well, I know you mentioned that I want to become a pilot, so definitely the aviation aspect.
Oh, yes. Yes, most definitely. So you build model airplanes, and what type of a pilot do you want to be?
I'm thinking of going into either airline or private.
Okay, so you wouldn't consider joining the Army or the Navy and fly the or the Marine Corps, fly the F-35s or the Navy F-18s?
It sounds cool, but I think I'd want to just stay, you know, close to the ground and, in my own territory.
Good answer. Good answer. No, that's great. So talk to me more about your mother. I know has been a huge uh, um, inspiration to you behind your books and your writing. And I've really enjoyed getting to know your mom in the short time of connecting with her. Talk to me about where you have shared your book. Have you shared it with older people? Have you shared it with groups? Have you shared it with youth groups? Just to kind of, this culture, we need some more common sense, and we need some more joy. We need some more laughter. Where have you been able to share your book?
I've been able to share my book and my story at my old elementary school.
Okay.
And the elementary school that's at my middle school, because my school is divided into 3 campuses. It's kind of complicated, but yes, I've been able to speak to my school, and I've also been to a few writers conferences. Just
Great.
recently we got back from Blue Ridge Christian Writers Conference in North Carolina, and
Oh,
then
that's not too far from us.
yeah, and then there was a few other, but yeah, a lot of places actually.
So, what would you say to your peers in school about inspiring them, whether it's to write or whether it's to bring some joy and laughter? What would you say to them to inspire them?
It's a good question. I would say, I mean, I say this phrase a lot, but you're never too old or too young to have humor in your life.
Mm, you are an old soul in many senses. I wonder if anybody's ever told you that.
A lot.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. You know what? I think, you heard me talking about the presidential election at the very beginning and who's all hopping in. And, all of the candidates all could use some humor, all could use a little bit of joy and a little bit of laughter in their lives,
Hmm.
and never to take yourself too seriously. Correct?
Of course. Yes.
Yes. Yes. Let me read a couple more of your reviews on Amazon. So, for all of those who are tuning in right now, if you're just listening or watching, William Daniel, he's a middle schooler, a World War II enthusiast, a competitive gymnast. We need to talk about that before I let you go. I have a couple more questions for you. He builds model airplanes and wants to be a pilot, but sorry, Marine Corps, sorry, Navy, you're not getting him. He's gonna go private and go commercial. He has a twin sister, and did I understand that you came a few minutes later? So you're basically the baby of the family. Is that correct?
Yeah, if you're not counting the dog.
Not okay. Not counting the dog, Riley. So for all of those who are tuning in, make sure you hop over to Amazon and pick up You're Joking Me, Jokes for Kids by a Kid. Other reviews. When I read this book, I feel like I am the egg that's getting cracked up. I think William Daniel is hilarious, and I'm so glad that now the world will know too. Also, I always knew my friend William was funny, but I didn't know he was this funny in all caps. This book is a treasure trove of great jokes that will keep you and your friends laughing all day long. And then finally, Aubrey says, I loved reading all of the jokes in this book. The variety of subjects covered made them very entertaining. They're super easy to understand and are directed towards younger audiences, making them great for kids, but also, I'm going to add, making them great for adults too. Um, you know, you are accomplishing a lot for such a young individual, but you're also leading. And I'm so impressed with your leadership role and how you are bettering yourself for what is ahead. And I'm just so impressed. My husband and I did not have the option to have kids like you, but we get to spoil all of the kids in our neighborhood and our God kids.
Mhm.
And one of them is very similar to you.
Mhm.
He is an old soul. He loves to read. He loves history. He can teach the history teachers more than they know about American history. He loves World War II, just like you do. And it's just very intelligent, but also has common sense, just like you do. So I'm very impressed with the amazing parents and what they are doing, what your mom and dad are doing, what your family are doing to encourage you and inspiring you in writing and making you just take those next steps of faith and excitement and bringing laughter and joy to so many people who need it. I want to ask you another question about being a competitive gymnast. That has always scared me. The whole gym thing. I love working out, but don't put me doing any of those flips or anything like that. How did you get into this competitive space? Because I can tell you have a lot of different talents about you, the creativity piece, the thinking piece, the intellectual, the critical thinking piece, and then you have this very physical active
Yeah.
role. So tell me about how this came into the whole picture.
Well, I started gymnastics when I was really young.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not exactly sure how I started. I think my older sister and my twin sister did it, and so they stuck me in there. And then after I think at my gym, gymnastics kind of got stopped for a while, and so I moved to a thing called parkour, right? We're all familiar with it. And I did that for a few years, and then one of the old coaches came
Uh-huh.
back
Uh-huh.
and they started up gymnastics again, which was about four years ago, I think. And so from there, me and this coach, we've all kind of gone through the recreational, and then we finally kind of got our whole team going
Uh-huh.
from people that I've been with, and then from there we started competing a few years ago,
Mhm.
and yeah.
No, that's great. That's really impressive. That's very impressive. So, whenever you are traveling and competing and doing all of these things, I mean, I think you have a bigger social calendar than most adults. Do you always take one of your books with you and a couple copies to share with people when you're out on the road and making sure, even if you're flying and you don't even know the stranger next to you and you say, hey, it looks like you could use a little laughter today, you give them a copy of the book? Do you end up doing that half the time?
Yeah, when we're traveling, even without, when we're not doing gymnastics, we bring some copies along.
Yeah, yeah. One thing I would love, and I don't know if you and your mom have already discussed this, but a lot of the work that I do here at Common Sense America focuses on our veterans. We live in a very big veteran community and also an active duty military community as well. And so one thing I would love to do is take the extra copies I have of your book and take them over to the VFW. Do
Yeah.
you get to go out and speak to groups aside from your school? And I would love to be able to see you give some of these to our veterans. I think they would absolutely adore you, especially with your love for military history.
Yeah, I don't do much, in terms of being actually active out in the community. I think going to the school is the most that I've done.
Mhm. Yeah.
But I am thinking about doing more.
Well, that's great. That's great. Especially with the books that you have coming up for next year. I'm so excited for you.
Thank
You
you.
are so impressive, and I would have never have guessed your age. I would have thought you've been a lot older than that. You are an old soul, and I just am so impressed with your presentation. I applaud your mom and dad and your family, and I want to encourage you to keep up and keep doing these great things. And also, I want to highlight you wrote for Newsweek. Is that correct?
That's true. I did write for Newsweek, and I would say that's probably the biggest article that I've done.
That's huge. That's amazing.
Thank
And I want to applaud you for doing that. And that Newsweek article and everything that else that you were doing, you know what? You're a leader yourself. You are leading the way for the kids after you. You're leading the way for those who are coming up behind you, and they're saying, you know what? Let me not get into trouble, but have a little fun writing and learn how to write and better myself. And accomplishing a book at your age is so impressive. So you are leading the way. Well done.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Okay. Any final words, William Daniel, before I let you go, and where we can find you, and any words of inspiration for this audience?
Well, like I said, you're never too old or too young to have humor in your life. Of course, the good kind of humor. Nothing inappropriate.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for
Yeah.
that for sharing
Yeah.
that. That's
Thought
important.
thought I should have touched on that.
No, no. And the thing is, this book, You're Joking Me, Jokes for Kids by a Kid, I read through it and it is so good. I want to, like I said, we're going to add it to the summer reading list that I'm going to be promoting on this show and other platforms. And so I'm going to be adding it to the summer reading list for kids, like you said. You said ages 5 to 8. Did I get that right?
6 to 8,
6 to 8.
although you could go
Yeah.
a little broader.
Well, you know what? I even say, to my age group, I'm in my 40s. I'm like, if you just need a little humor, pick it up, read it with your breakfast in the morning, get yourself going. I think that's a great idea too. So let's, and I'm going to make sure to talk with your mom about getting extra copies for the VFW here in our area in the American Legion, because I think this would be great. So let's keep the conversation going. I'd love to have you come back when your new books are out and published for mothers and for fathers and for all of those who are tuning in. Just as a reminder, Father's Day is coming up. It is Sunday, June the 18th. And if any of you have not, William, I'm going to keep you here for a second because I want you to see something, because I want to get it if you would like it. But I'm showing you on the screen, I tested positive for Common Sense. And, I ordered these shirts a couple of days ago because I wanted to make sure I had the batch in time for Father's Day. But it's not too late. If you decide you want one of these shirts, I tested positive for Common Sense. That is from patriotdepot.com. Please let me know. I'd love to send you a shirt, especially for our fathers out there. You guys are the best, and we're so grateful for you. And you know what? The fathers that have impacted William here, his grandfather and his father, to inspire him to write and to tell these jokes. It speaks volumes to our culture. Let's engage. Let's just, engage and inspire this powerful generation right here in front of us. I'm so excited for you, William. Thank you so much for being here at Common Sense America. I hope you have a great rest of your day. And has summer break started for you?
It has, yes.
Okay, so what are you doing before you as you're in the summer? Bugging your sisters?
No, I have a summer reading to get done, so they send you a book.
Okay, good. Do you have any other books you'd recommend to this audience for the summer?
If you're looking for fiction, it's specifically young adult fiction, I recommend the books by Tim Shoemaker.
Okay. And what are they? Are they focused on a certain time period in history, or are they?
They're not historical fiction. They're just your basic fiction, but they're amazing books.
Okay. Are they mystery?
Yes, a little bit. Yeah, a little bit of suspense.
Okay. So you said Tim Shoemaker?
Tim Shoemaker.
Okay. Well, I will look him up, and then I look forward to seeing you back here soon. I hope you have a fabulous Wednesday. Happy summer, and thank you for your jokes.
Of course.
All right. We'll see you soon, William. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye-bye. And for all of those who are tuning in, this is Common Sense America. It is just about 9:31 a.m. Eastern Time. It's Wednesday, June the 7th. And we had William Daniel. He's a middle schooler, a World War II enthusiast, as you heard, and a competitive gymnast. He builds model airplanes and wants to be a pilot. He is a twin to his sister, Kaylin, and enjoys making people laugh. And yes, he does make people laugh. What an old soul, but such a talented young mind. And so I was just so proud of this kid and what he's doing. And I'm putting up here on the screen. You can go over to Amazon and pick it up. I have a couple extra copies. I will give away two of my free extra copies to you guys. If you're interested, message me on the comment section on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, Rumble, or on the YouTube channel if you would like a copy for your kids for their summer reading. So I'm so excited. And thank you, Blythe, his mother, for setting this up. I know August, she had mentioned that is National Joke Day, which is huge, but I had to get him on because of the summer reading, knowing everybody is finishing up school and we are looking for those great books for our kids. So on that note, I'm going to take a quick break and then we will be right back. I'm going to show you another book that just came in the mail for our kids. It's about Thomas Edison, and we had the author on a couple weeks back during NRB. So we will take a quick break and we'll be right back. Thank you for joining Common Sense America. And thank you, Will Baker, for the music for Common Sense America. It is Wednesday. It is June the 7th. And I tell you what, it is a humid day here in Eastern North Carolina, but yet the sun is shining. Rumor has it some of the smoke and the fires and whatever is coming this way from Canada. Oh, Canada. Oh, Canada. So for all of those who are in the Northeast, please be careful. Close the windows. Don't go outside too much. just to protect your health, and especially for those who have asthma. But that is just my PSA for this morning here at Common Sense America. It's great to be back here in Eastern North Carolina. A lot is happening here in Eastern North Carolina. I'm hearing rumblings. I'm hearing rumors. There's a lot happening. I see a lot posted on Facebook. And as we head into the summer months, the kids that we know here in our neighborhoods, those who are going on break, those who are going on vacation. I just wanted to send out to you guys other options for your kids to read during the summer months. I grew up on Nancy Drew and her mysteries. They are such great reads, and they're in all the antique stores around here for about $6 a pop. But if you have not introduced your kids to Nancy Drew or the Hardy Boys, such great reads. It's not dark by any means, and they're just so fun and adventurous. And so I wanted to share those additional examples with you. Also, something that William's mom had said to me in one of her emails during our conversations here for this episode with William Daniel, and You're Joking Me, Jokes for Kids by a Kid, William Daniel. She said, one of the pieces of trivia that is kind of fun, William's book is in airports nationwide and is in some grocery stores, which he had mentioned. We've seen it in Atlanta, Dallas, and Denver airports, and we just heard about it in Orlando and also in South Carolina. He is grateful that people are responding to the desire to laugh. Funny story. My husband got a photo of the book in one airport. On one side of it, it was Winning the War on Worry. And on the right next to it, it was William's book. You're Joking Me. Laughter does help you win over worry, and that is for sure. Laughter, looking forward to it, and thank you so much. So Blythe, thank you so much for those precious stories about what your son's doing. It's an honor to know him, and I cannot wait to have him back here next year to talk about his father's book and his mother's book. I'm really impressed. Also, I have an extra copy of The Unexpected Light of Thomas Alva Edison. Remember when we had Raymond Aurora on the show? He was headed to NRB and he was talking about his brand new book. He also has one coming out in October on Tad Lincoln. So I have an extra copy here and I would love to give it away. So the first person that messages me on, let's just say, the Facebook media channel. I know a lot of people watch on Facebook media on my Eden Gordon Media LLC page. The first person that messages me that would like a copy of Thomas Edison book, it is a thin read, but it's a beautiful, beautiful cover and a beautifully written story. I will send it to you. Also, anybody who's interested in these joke books, I have a couple extra copies. The second and third person that messaged me on Instagram, I will send you a copy as well. So I'm so grateful to these amazing minds who are wanting to impact the next generation. They are so important. So also, news headlines. I was sifting through the news headlines. I was listening to 990 AM this morning with Krista Gall, my morning ritual, drinking my Zabar's coffee, and, just kind of praying over the day, reflecting over my travels back here to Eastern North Carolina, hearing a lot about RFK Jr., hearing a lot about Chris Christie jumping in, and basically jumping in to bash my former boss, President Donald Trump, which I think is very immature. But, that's the thing. That's what we're facing right now. We need a leader to run this nation, not a leader who falls over a sandbag, which most people could do, but a leader who is of legitimate age. And yes, I'm going to do the age thing for a second, not age discrimination, but one who can actually walk without not having to hold on to a United States senator and who has a cognitive level of understanding. That is such a concern to so many of us around this nation. When I travel, I hear, I listen, and I watch. And I was getting gas the other day in Pennsylvania, and I hear this gentleman talking to somebody he knew getting gas. He's like, yeah, I'm working 2 and 3 jobs. Have to in this economy. And that is what everybody is talking about, this economy. And no, Biden, You got to stop blaming the previous president because it has nothing to do with him. You undid everything. Well, Obama undid everything. Sorry. Biden, you're just the puppet and you know it. Right? Right? So as I'm sitting here reflecting on my travels, you may not agree with me. That's fine. You don't have to. But I am going to speak truth. I'm not going to just speak political headlines all day either. I listened to Greg Kelly on WABC, New York. Listen to Chris DeGaulle, 990 AM Philadelphia. Listen to Larry O'Connor, WMAL, Washington, D.C. You notice I highlighted 3 different Northeast cities, but they're all conservative talk radio because that is where I'm finding truth. Do I watch Fox Business, who I used to work for? Every once in a while. Do I watch Fox News headlines? No, I'm not finding much there anymore. What I'm trying to say is our country is at a crossroads. And I know a lot of us are concerned about election integrity. We're concerned about the education of our kids. We're concerned about being safe going into a woman's bathroom. We're concerned about, will we get our next paycheck or is the government going to take that too? These are all legitimate concerns, but I will put this out there to each and every one of you. The voting system is a huge issue, but an even bigger issue is this: the corruption of the voting system and the corruption of Republicans and Democrats who will take money underneath the table to endorse a candidate who doesn't know anything. That is a huge issue. John Fetterman, Senator, United States Senate from Pennsylvania. What an embarrassment to this nation. Joe Biden. Yeah, and I may get censored for this, but at this point, I don't really care. 2020 elections were corrupt. We all know that, but let's get our stuff together for next year. We need to be more active. Oh, politics needs to stay over there, needs to stay over there, needs to stay out of our lives. Well, you know what? When it starts affecting your paycheck, your taxes, your children's education, and the food on your table, are you going to get involved then? You need to. It's a great awakening now for we as a country, for those who believe in the Lord, for those who believe in this country, and for those who know what's coming. We need to be more active than ever before. We need to be vocal more than ever before. I know a lot of us are afraid we're going to lose our jobs because we're standing up for our freedoms. We're going to lose our jobs because we're standing up for what we believe in. And that, yes, that is unfortunately the society we live in today, where there is a higher preference over your sexual orientation than over your merit and what you've accomplished in one's career. And that is a problem. I got a call the other day from a good friend of mine, a very prestigious leader in the C-suite aspect of businesses. This person called me and said, I am being pushed out because of my faith. I'm being pushed out because of what I believe in. I'm being pushed out because of what I look like. So for us as Christians, and that person is a Christian, I gave that person a little shot in the arm and said, for one, don't ever call yourself damaged, because we are not damaged goods. We are God's children, and He does not make damage. He does not make trash. So what I'm saying to each and every one of you, as we head into the summer months, let's rest, let's restore ourselves, let's prepare for the fall. We have so many things ahead of us, but let's not forget to engage in the public square. We as Christians have the opportunity for such a time as this to be more vocal than ever. This Friday, day after tomorrow, kicks off the kitchen table discussions with Lane Lawson Craft. She's a mama bear based out of Florida. Her newest book, The Parents' Battle Plan, it's all over the news. She was on multiple outlets for Fox News Radio yesterday. I talked to her as I was driving back. We are going to be grabbing our cups of coffee and having a Friday morning discussion every Friday through the summer. It's going to be very organic. Not too much planning is going into it, and here's why. Because most of our kitchen table conversations happen in the home and where the most powerful decisions happen. And I've noticed whenever I have people over to our home, we end up around the kitchen and we end up having very powerful discussions that are greater than any United States president, no matter who they were, greater than any United States senator, no matter who they were, greater than any leader, no matter who they are. So I want to invite you to come join us every Friday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. It's live. We're not pre-recording anything. Grab your cup of coffee, your lemonade, your sweet tea, no matter where you live, no matter what part of the country you're on. Join our conversations. It's going to be live on YouTube until they censor us, live on her YouTube channel as well, live on all the social media platforms that I air Common Sense America. I want you to tune in, especially for the mama bears out there. Not eliminating men. Men, I want you to be a part of this too, because you are the leaders of our homes. I want you to be inspired, convicted, filled with pride for America, pride of your faith, pride of your family. We have so much to fight for. Tomorrow, we have a brand new guest. He's a doctor based out of Bethesda, Maryland. I have his book right here. It's called Nobody Wants You Healthy. Have you ever thought about that? I have. Seeing many family members pass from cancer, fight cancer. Cancer is just one of the many things. We'll talk COVID all day long tomorrow. And you guys may not agree with me. Sorry. Not sorry. I've been very vocal on the COVID forefront for a long time, and we're going to be talking about that too. So we have a great rest of the week. Tomorrow's Thursday. We'll have Dr. Mark Richards join us. And then Friday and every Friday through the summer, we will have Lane Lawson Craft, the Parents' Battle Plan book and study guide that she wrote for all of the parents and the guardians out there. But we're going to be talking about the kitchen table discussions more than anything. So get ready, you guys. And then we have some amazing guests coming to you as we head into the summer season. July 4th, apple pies, pie baking contest. What are we doing in our nation's backyard to instill pride in America back again? Because our nation is at its very lowest with patriotism. Let's reinstill that in the young hearts and minds. You saw it from William Daniel. He loves learning about our American history, the true American history, not the CRT American history. Just putting that out there. So until then, be strong, be courageous, put on the full armor of God. And I don't say that lightly, you guys. Put it on. Get it ready. Grab that Bible. We got a war on our hands. This is our Esther moment. Get ready for such a time as this. I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a great Wednesday. God bless you all.
It's time for Common Sense America.